Hello friends, it's me, your favorite stirrer, Nancy Drew tier list maker. Actually, that was just a presumption. I don't know if I actually am your favorite stirrer, Nancy Drew tier list maker, but it would be nice if that was true. Anyway, the new Nancy Drew game, Mystery of the Seven Keys, just came out, so you know I had to make at least one tier list about this game, because what the Nancy Drew games need is more controversy, right? But anyway, today I'll be chatting through our cast of 7 key characters. There are actually so many of them that they are deserving of a whole tier list themselves, which cannot be said about some Nancy Drew games, which in the past have had like 3 characters. Can't exactly made a full-length tier list video out of that. You know the drill. Do I like them? Do I hate them? Am I ambivalent about them? Well, yeah, you'll just have to keep watching, I guess. I'm not gonna reveal everything in the first minute of the video. This video will actually contain spoilers for Key. I am not going to hold back. I'm not going to censor myself on my opinions here, and you cannot expect me to keep my lips zipped in terms of spoilers either. There's some things that I just have to bring up. Some things that just need to be said. Some characters which just need to be called out on their actions. So be warned if you have not yet completed Mystery of the Seven Keys. Come back later when you have. Anyway, let's go through my tiers. Please don't judge me too harshly on them. I literally just thought them up in 5 minutes before I started filming this video. At the bottom, starting from the bottom, we have Lock Them in Jail. Yeah, lock them in jail. They deserve to be locked up. At least, have a restraining order against them from me. Keep them away from me, in other words. They're a danger to me and they're a danger to society, and they're better off locked up in some unreachable prison. Just my opinion. Right above them is probably my weakest tier name, Lock Off. Just lock off, dude. No one wants you here. Get the heck out of here. Lock off. You see what I'm going for here? But this is for characters that I didn't like, but I don't feel so forcefully about them that I want them to rot in jail for the rest of their lives. Our middle tier is just okay. This may not be mid, but these characters might be mid. Like, you know what I'm saying? The Nancy Drew fans will know. They'll know. Above that, we have Key Player, sensing a theme maybe around these tiers here. These are some good egg characters. Some characters I like, some characters that I'd share coffees with in the Hunger Counselor Cafe. And this doesn't necessarily mean that I don't like any of the other characters or think they're good characters if they're in the lower tiers. That doesn't mean I think they're badly written characters. This is more speaking to the personality of the characters themselves rather than the quality of the writing around them. My very top tier has the 7 keys to my heart. Just new ultimate favorite, absolutely beloved Nancy Drew characters. Okay, now that we've got that general housekeeping, out of the way, let's move on and actually get into the meat of the video. Let's unlock that drama and get started. Sorry, I'm gonna be insufferable. First character we have up on our list is Adela. And as soon as she walked into the trailer, I was like, whew, Ned who? You know what I mean? But it wouldn't take much to get me saying that. I'm weak for a pretty lady. Sue me. I completely respect that her first move out of the gate upon meeting Nancy was to test her worth. I do think she's a little deranged for liking black coffee, but also wouldn't say no to a pretty face, you know what I mean? She's a key player to me in the game that is my life. Next up, we have Elka, potentially the most interesting character in the game for me. She's also a total babe, even though her fashion is like straight out of 2014 Tumblr. There's like tie waist pants and the super dark defined eyebrows. We all make regrettable fashion choices, and those shouldn't be held against us. She's a woman in STEM, so she's not just got a pretty face, but the smarts to back it up, and the additional flavor of some childhood trauma with her mother dying after she was hit by a car. Of course, Nancy loves her for that because they can trauma bond. But then you find out at the end of the game, Elka has been just being a total fake the whole time and has been actually doing some little scheming behind the scenes. Scheming? No. I thought there might be something in there that absolutely was not. I do think she's an incredibly interesting character. Like, she and Nancy are two sides of the same coin, in a way. Nancy is using her trauma and her skills for good, whereas Elka is using them for evil. She's also a key player to me. I swear this list won't be all just key players. At least I don't think so, but I guess we'll just have to keep going to find out. Keep going. Okay, next up we have Marek, Elka's granddaddy. Nothing but respect to a man who respects the power of a little trinket. I think Marek is an interesting character. He has some hidden depths. He's part of this secret resistance group. I also love how he just takes Nancy, an American tourist, having one of the 7 keys that gives one access to the Prague crown jewels in his stride. He's just like, oh ho ho, this is quite a funny jape. I also respect any man who is involved with puppets of any form, but I think to balance things out, I'm gonna put him in just okay. Possibly also because he's not as pretty as Elka or Della. Not saying that surface level things like that really affect the sacred nature of a tier list, but... Next we have Leo. We have so much in common. He's a gamer. He loves cats. He loves a good sweater vest kind of cardigan moment. He is here to serve coffee, to serve looks, to serve St. Vitus Cathedral. He's an interesting character with some hidden depths, but we don't really see a lot of him in the game. He unfortunately spends most of his time hog-tied in the secret alchemy dungeon, which is very unfortunate. I think we can all agree. Yeah, I would have loved to get to know Leo a bit better. Not in that kind of way. Not in that kind of way, but I think that makes him also just okay. I think we're seeing a bit of a trend here. We've got the pretty ladies in key player. We've got the old men with interesting backstories and just okay. Does that say something about me? Maybe, but I don't want to investigate it too much. I'm just an amateur sleuth here, okay? Next we have Oscar the Grouch. What is there to say about Oscar? Really, he's a museum curator who doesn't let Nancy borrow his priceless historical artifacts. What's the deal with that, buddy? Go back to your garbage can on Sesame Street, cause I don't like your attitude, man. Sure, I'd tell him to lock off. I guess my only really petty grudge against him is that he won't let me steal museum exhibits. But at least one person had to go in the lock-off tier to justify its place in this list, okay? Next we have Patrizia. Oh my god, I always forget her name. I'm so sorry to this woman. No disrespect intended. I do really like her. She's a very warm, friendly person. I love chatting to her. I love that she owns a coffee shop / library / bookstore that is like my favorite kind of place to be in. I love that when one of her customers is like, impersonate me for this detective, she's like, yeah, sure, why not? And she makes Nancy a free coffee, and she has cool pink hair. What's not to love? Next, my boy, Roddick. I think we already know. Roddick is just like my dream man. He's awkward and goofy, he's cute with floppy hair, and he's a master puppeteer. He's just the full package. I know this isn't like a tier list of Nancy Drew characters that I would date, although I have done that in the past, but I'm telling you, I would date Roddick in a heartbeat. If he came up to me with his little sock puppet and was like, hey Chloe, wanna go on a date with me? I would 100% say yes, and I'd kiss that little puppet on the mouth. I would. He has the 7 keys to my heart. Every single one of them. Count them, 7 keys. I love that he just wants to celebrate the history of Prague, and I love that he wants to do that through the medium of puppetry. Now we have Vladina, snob, girl boss, absolute traitor to her bestie who trusted her with her precious heirloom jeweled necklace. Vladina is a nasty lady. She's not nice. She's mean about Nancy's fashion. She calls her ugly. I mean, she deserves to be locked in jail for her crimes, but also her meanness. I don't want to be around people that mean. But unfortunately, she isn't locked in jail. She's loose. She's out there on the streets, probably telling people they look like She needs to be stopped. When will her reign of passive-aggressive terror end? Now we have Agent Zane Garrett, a very interesting character in this game. I feel like I've said every single character in this game is interesting, but I really do think so. But he is a phone character for most of the game and only appears in person at the very end. And you know, he's a very handsome man. I see why they were keeping him locked up. Prague is just going to fall into chaos with him out and about roaming the streets. People are gonna collapse when he walks past them. He's a danger to others. I'm very curious to see where his character progresses. I have a feeling we haven't seen the last of Zane. Also, Zane Garrett, such a top tier name. But because we don't see very much of him, he's just okay for me. And Radek still holds my heart. Is Zane Garrett a master puppeteer? I don't think so. If he is, he's keeping awfully quiet about it. Last but not least by any means, we have Marius, the little kitty cat. The little kitty cat, just a small cat in a big city. I love Marius. He reminds me of my own cat, Ham. And he's so sweet. I love that you can seek him out within the city. I love that you can give him a little pat on the head. I love that he purrs and meows at you. He kept me going. He was my solace in hours of stressful sleuthing and complicated puzzles, you know? At least I could always be on the lookout for Marius, and he would be there for me. He would support me in my time of need. And that's why, respectfully, I'm giving him all 7 keys to my heart. I know there's a bit of a contradiction here in which both Radek and Marius appear to have 7 keys to my heart, but consider this. What if I made 2 sets? Would create a lot of problems if they did that for the 7 keys that unlock the crown jewels in Prague, but hopefully there's not as many thieves on the lookout for the 7 keys to my heart and the treasures within. Anyway, this was just a quick rundown on my feelings about the characters in Mystery of the 7 Keys. I don't know why I said it like that. Mystery of the 7 Keys. Golly boy howdy. Anywho, as you can see, Radek and Marius are my kings, and I think Vladina should be poisoned with her own alchemy potions. I hope this hasn't been too controversial. I feel like this could be one of my less controversial tier lists, but I always know there'll be at least one person who dislikes it just on principle. Maybe they're a big Oscar fan. I do like Oscar, but someone had to be locked off, you know? No hate to Oscar, really, even though my placing him in the locked off tier does seem to indicate that I kind of hate him, but I swear to you, I don't. Not completely, at least. He just represents the man, you know. Gotta fight the power, as Nicholas Falcone would say. That is all. Tell me what you think of the key characters in the comments. Who is your absolute favorite? Who holds the 7 keys to your heart? Who do you think should be locked in jail for multiple life sentences?